Righto, the next bit, we're going to try our little vibrator. We're going to hook him up temporarily into here and see if we can get any voltage out of this transformer before we go assembling the vibrator together, so forth. First of all, I want to change this capacitor, which goes to ground, which is on the B plus end. But on that B plus, there's some pretty hectic spikes coming from the vibrator. So we're going to, just put another one back in. As you can see, he doesn't look real good. It's a 0.5, it says 200 volt, nothing special. But anyway, we'll put in one of Carl's notorious caps. And that will stop any spikes and any problems with noise just in around there. We'll cut the ends off. Okay, let's get this fella in. Now, our ground goes to ground. Somewhere there anyway, any ground will do. Our vibrator terminals. Now, that's our B plus. So one will be our two smaller pins. Is that fella there and this fella here. Okay, our plus is here. That should be it. Now I have the rectifier valve, the 6X4 out, so we're only looking for AC over at this point, and how much AC. So we're going straight onto there and to ground, and our vibrator is working, and we've got arcing over here, which is a good sign and a bad sign. It means we've got high voltage. I don't know whether you guys saw that. Let's take you down in there and not put so much light on it. But that's a good sign. And you might be able to see it right in there. There's a little wisp of smoke there. And there she is, arcing up. Yeah, well, good sign. We've got high voltage. Okay, we've got you guys zoomed in a bit. It was arcing between our high tension there and our lead, which is the one that goes to the cap. So the output of the 6X4, the 6X4 is not in there. Yeah, might have to get a little bit of light in here. You guys can probably see that, but we need to clean this fairly thoroughly here. This has been corroded and everything beforehand. And then we'll have to get in here with a bit of cleaner. Let's see what we can do with him. This could have been arcing for some time. Put some cleaner in there and see what we can do with it. Okay, we've cleaned him up reasonably well in there. Although he's yes, he still looks a bit sus. We'll put power on him again and see if we've got any arcing. No arcing there at all. I think we'll be okay with that. A little bit of cleaner left in there. Pretty sure we've got all the surface muck off this, and yeah, I don't think that'll give any more problems. Now, our next trick is to see what sort of AC voltage we've got at the 6x4. So it is that one and that one. So we'll measure our voltage across there. We're on AC volts. Turn him on. He's going. Now I'm sorry about the just a moment. We'll put this vibrator on something so it doesn't make so much noise, because I haven't got him in the can yet. Okay, we'll try this. Try it again. That's a bit better. Let's see what voltage we've got across here. 620 volts. 620. That's very high. So 311 to ground and 311, 310. This is no load out of the transformer, and 310. So quite a bit of juice coming out of the transformer there. Now I think our next project will be putting this fella back in the can. He seems to be working nicely. Everything's going well. So we'll put him back in the can, get the can in here, get it back, and then put our 6x4 in, see can we get any high voltage. And of course, these caps, the electrodes, they don't look nice. So I think we'll probably starting around here, but first of all, we'll see can we get any sound out of it without doing too much at all. Okay, now we've got the vibrator back into his case. There's a little circlip goes around. He fits in quite nicely. Resoldered the earth tab on there. So, and of course, all this is, we just give him a bit of a polish up, makes it look a little bit better. So now I've tested him. He's still working okay, no problems. Let's put him in here and then monitor our HT. We'll put the 6x4 in. Now, a little trick that I've learnt here, these are very difficult to get out. It's very hard to pull this thing out from there. So what we do is put a little bit of, a few turns of string across the bottom and up the top so that you can get hold of it and actually pull it out while working it around as well. Absolutely nearly impossible to get this damn thing out of here, as you probably saw earlier in the piece. So let's do that. Just a little bit of a modification makes it a bit easier next time if it gives any more problems. But I don't think this one will. I've just got some jute string, put it around there, and we'll plug him back in, and at least down the track we can get it out when we need to. And there he is. He's in. Okay, if we want to get him out next time, we can pull on the string. Tuck the string away. He's in. We will check. Yes, all pins, all fully in. 1, 2. Yes, we've got our microphone going. Let's put in our 6x4. He's in. Okay. Now we're going to test this fella out to see if he's got any go, and to see if the unit has HT. Let's see what we've got here. Go back onto our earth or an earth spot. Where's a good earth? There. That fella seems to be good. Now we're going to go, first of all, onto this fella here. Now let's show you the circuit. Here we go. Try and get a little bit better picture there. Right. This is where we are. We're going out of the cathode to these couple of caps, and there's another cap in around here somewhere. Anyway, these are the two in question at the moment on the cathode, and we want to see how much voltage is there. Let's have a look. We might put our clip on this fella. Nothing there at the moment. Ground. And I'm bypassing the on-off switch up here because it's got a problem. So we're going straight to our B plus here. Our inverter starts. And let's watch this and see what happens. And there she goes. She's coming up. We got 70 volts, 6970, and that's not a bad effort for probably a cap that's open circuit or reforming or whatever's happening there at the moment. It's probably reforming. We're still going up there. Been a long time since this old girl's been going. At least our vibrator is working, and we've got HT. Now we've tested the 6X4 as you saw earlier, and it works fine. So it's a very good valve. We're still going up. Cap's still reforming. We're drawing just on 3.1 amps there at the moment. Pretty heavy for a car radio, isn't it? Compared to these days. We're still going up. Cap's probably still reforming there. So I think we can safely assume that the cap is not in real good condition. And we do have HD happening here. Now, our other HTs will be that fella there, which is 58, and this fella here, which is on the 6-volt line. So these are our main two, 64.8, 57. So not real sure what the HT are supposed to be on this fella. Well, let's have a look. Not real sure whether anything is marked. No voltages whatsoever. It's very handy. We might try another power supply because that power supply that I'm using is flat out at about 3 amps and it's drawing 3.1 there. So we might put him on a little bit stronger power supply and just see how much more oomph we can get on the HT, just to make sure things are working. Okay, well, we're on a bit bigger supply there at the moment, and as you can see, we've got 120 volts. What have we got AC? Only 1.6 volts of ripple there, so not too bad. Now we're 6 volts and we're drawing, drawing about 6 amps there. Okay, let's put a speaker on and see if there's any noise here whatsoever. Righto guys, here we go again. There's our HT. I have a speaker in the back there. And let's see if we've got any noise. Oh, we have audio. We have audio. How about that? And if you want to see, there's the audio, the volume pot, and aerial. We have activity on the aerial. We have activity. And something is happening here. And boy, they're hard to turn, those. Let's round up a couple of knobs. We certainly have some noise from the vibrator, but that's normal with the top off. And possibly the caps. We have 132 HT. And before we go too far, let's try and get a little bit of an aerial on there. Into a cold fridge, right. One person writes, I've travelled to nearly 100 countries over the last 3 years, and the only place I've experienced got a goer. Food poisoning is sushi in Chatswood. Another person says bolognese. Very distorted. And I would think that the 6AQ5 finals probably got a very high grid voltage on him at the moment. It's actually toned. Well, there you go, guys. She's a goer. I'd say a few caps, and she'll certainly be a goer. We turn her up, and that's not good at all. And we go back down. And she comes up. So, yeah, we'll have a look at the schematic, and we'll do a voltage check on the output valve, the 6AQ5, and just see what is on the grid. 131.5 on the HT, which is not bad, and AC content 1.7, so, it's not real good. Be interesting to put the ESR meter on it and find out what that is. That'd be very interesting. So, 6AQ5. So this is where we're looking here, this cap here, obviously, and it goes into pin 1, by the look of that. Pin 1 would be the grid, the way that's arranged. Not sure whether that's pin 1 or not, but I'm guessing the way it's drawn probably is. But anyway, we'll find this fella and have a look what sort of voltage. We've also got an electrode here, 20 mic on the, would be the cathode. So, yeah, we'll have to check him out. HT, yeah, the plate, which is pin 5. Okay, well, let's do a little bit of investigation here. Here's our 6AQ5 here. So 270k resistor running off there, and that would be him, because there's our 270k. Now we shouldn't have any voltage here. We go there, and we've got 16 volts. 16. On the other side of the cap, we have 43. We've got 16 volts going to the grid. That's why that poor AQ5 is struggling to put out anything. Let's get that cap changed right from the start, and then we'll check out and, yeah, we'll check some voltages around there then, and I reckon it'll sound a lot better than what it does now. And there he is. He is a 0.01, which is correct. And boy, I reckon that's very, very leaky. We'll check him soon. A 0.01. Let's get one of them. Now, guys, where I'm getting this cap from, there's also lots of leaky wax down in there. So, yeah, he's been crooked for a while, I reckon. The front end of this radio doesn't seem too bad, actually, the way it was picking up there. And, of course, we have vibrator noise, but we won't get rid of that until we put the bottom cover on at all. It'll be there. With any valve radio on the output stage, this little cap is the first cap you look for, the coupling cap. This little AQ5 will certainly thank us for replacing this one. We're going to come through and check the resistors as well. Let's fire him up. Let's see what we've got now. Right. We're going. Here's our HT coming up. And it'll go back down again shortly when the when the valves warm up. Oh, and we certainly have some volume now. Let's see how many volts are on our valve now. 0. That looks a bit better. What have we got on this side? 67. And the only thing that's limiting there is our power supply, actually. And this thing certainly picks up okay. I'll just drop our back line off there. It's I reckon that's pretty damn good.
I was going, and the amount of responsibility and
Yes. And obviously, our vibrator is working pretty well. He's working pretty hard there at the moment. What have we got? 181 on our HT. That's more like it. That was drawing it with the 6AQ5 conducting heavily, was drawing our current down a lot on the HT as well. And my power supply is only capable of about 5-6 amps, and that's the power supply I'm using at the moment. And yeah, she's going okay there. 156 on the second HT. Very interesting to see that cap actually working. There's a few other waxies I want to replace. One is this fella to the volume control. And there's a little fella down in there. Not real sure where he is on the circuit. 3 in here. And yeah, there might be a couple on top, but not many. And yeah, it's looking very, very nice.
You've got to change both, but I'd be going down the track of just the old. It's not stops them like corrosion issue, but they use a lot of fuel. But at least that way you can get a feel for it.
High Tide, weekends from 4 a.m. on the Super Radio Network.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Next thing, I think, will be to replace this cap, do a little bit of cleaning up, and then we'll go through and check some of the resistor values. Going to try and work out whether I can get a schematic with some voltages on it, which would be handy just to see. But there she is, guys, working so far. It's that's a bloody miracle. Yeah, going nicely. Yeah, well, okay, back soon. Well, we've been through, we've changed our waxies here on top, and as you can see, changed the waxies on the bottom. Now, I haven't checked any resistors yet. That's the next job. Boy, this thing works extremely, extremely well. It's incredible how it's come up, actually. Really, really nice. Now, I have put a little bit of spray just in the back of the on-off switch, and that is now making good contact on both poles, actually, although we've rejoined the poles so that it's only a single pole contact for both. So working extremely well, lubricated our tuning mechanism, and it's working lovely there, nice and smooth, easy. So that's working good. And of course our electro. So we better have a look at him, even though the set is working nice. I still want to look into maybe doing something with this fella. So yeah, that's where we're up to at the moment. And once I've checked the resistors, done something with the capacitors, we better check the speaker and have a look at him. So probably the first thing here at the moment, we'll do the capacitor and the electrode, and we'll have a look at him. And he's 3 electrodes in one can. So yeah, I think it's a matter of getting him out, but I think we'll be right. We'll get him out of there. And then we'll see what we can do with him. Now, we've cut the legs off the electrode, the old electrode that was in there, and we've got one in here, which I put a little tag strip there to mount him on with the feed resistors to HT2. And the main cap, a 10 mic 450 volt, he's sitting across the rectifier there from ground to B+. The other little fella was the cathode of the 6AQ5, and he's sitting in here. That's how small he is. All taken out of that can. I didn't worry about restuffing the can. That is a headache to get it off there. So you just need so much heat and everything to get things to release. So I didn't worry about that. Just put the little electro in there, which goes from the cathode to ground. And he's a 22 mic at a little 63 volt across there. We did replace one resistor in there, a 390k, which was 390 ohm, which was on the cathode of the 6AQ5. So replaced him. All other resistors I've checked cannot find anything that's out of spec. There was only that one. So yeah, I thought some of these may have been, especially these little fellas. They seem to ingest water and moisture over time and give problems, but no, they're all good. Now with this alignment, I am not touching any of the alignment. It's working perfectly. It's working extremely well in the workshop, so we're not going to even contemplate touching the alignment. I have no details on how to do it, and certainly don't want to attack this one. It's working fine like it is. Okay, so next thing will be, oh, by the way, this HT sits here right on the tag strip. Now what I've got, a little piece of plastic out of an old battery case, and I'll be putting that cover over the HT terminal there to make sure nothing touches underneath. There's quite a bit of clearance there, but just in case. Yeah, okay, next thing, fuse holder. I don't want this horrible old thing. I've got a couple of heavier fuse holders that will do the job. So we'll remove this and put a new fuse holder on him as the next job. And then we might have a bit of a look at the speaker and see what he looks like. And there's our fuse holder. It's a high current fuse holder. We have a 10 amp fuse in this one. And yeah, that all fitted in okay. Just solders on a little plate. Very strange arrangement. Actually acts as a capacitor along there. And yeah, comes up to here. Now, we'll just check our fuse holder to make sure everything is working. There to there, and turn him on, and our lights on, and he's all working. Our switch seems to be going quite well now. That's it was obviously dirty or stuck or something in there, but yeah, don't have to pull him apart. He's going very well. Okay, speaker next. Well, looking at this, where do you start? Well, should I start? A little bit of wax down in there. Don't know. Anyway, let's have a look. See if he's worth putting back in this cover. Yes. Okay. I'm guessing that the guy that owns this thing, he will want another speaker in here. This very tight. Yes, it's scraping. Lots of iron filings, lots of rubbish. Yeah, I wouldn't put this speaker back in that radio. So we'll find another speaker the same or very similar dimensions. All looks okay there. And he's not bad underneath. But yeah, if that was my radio, I wouldn't want that speaker back in there. And anyway, I don't think it'd work. So, yep, the speaker is a write-off. We'll unsolder the cable and use the cable, but speaker goes in the bin, and we'll find another speaker that I'm sure there'll be something around. I may have or may have to order a speaker for this fella. Okay, well, that's it for a little while. Can't do much until we get the speaker, and what I'm going to do also is repaint the bottom cover. I cannot give a radio back like that. Inside is not too bad, but yeah, I will certainly do something with that. Okay, guys, it'll only seem like a couple of seconds, but I'll be calling this quits now, and we'll be back onto him as soon as we've got another speaker and we can put the unit back together. We also have to round up or do something with the dial itself. So, yeah, not real sure what to do there. Shame we haven't got a 3D printer on this one. We could print up another surround because the actual dial, I'm thinking, does come out of this. Yeah, a little bit of glue in there. I think we better gently heat him before we, or gently heat the surround before we take that any further. Okay, right, on with the fitting of the speaker. Now, cleaned this fellow up. He came up rather well, and I have repainted. Not a hammer tone finish like it had. It's just a grey, and it's a rust preventative paint. So all that come up pretty well. As well as that, on the old girl, I have done the horrible bottom of, well, is it the bottom? Actually, I think it's the top. And the speaker goes out the bottom. So all this was, as you saw, was very rusty. And I thought, okay, we'll paint that up, make it look a little bit nicer. And all is good there. So now the speaker, I can't find it with what I've got at the moment. I can't find a speaker. This is to just get this radio going for this guy. So we're not going to, he doesn't want to order a special speaker for it or anything like that. So we're just going to retrofit another standard little speaker. And that's what we're putting in, which is available from West Components in Sydney. Nice little speaker. Now, what we've got is it's a little bit smaller than the original, but certainly will perform a lot better than the original. So what we've got to do now is fit this thing in. I have to drill some more holes here. We're going to fill the other holes up with the screws, possibly some black screw and nuts in those. And I don't know what we're going to do here yet. We might actually, yeah, I'm just thinking as we're doing this, we might actually put a penny washer on these on these screws and hold it by each corner. That may be the trick, actually. So we'll experiment with that and have a look at this as we go along. Once we get this finished, we can more or less put this old girl together. We'll put the dial, what I can, back on. I still don't have the escutcheon. Maybe someone out there in radio land, in YouTube land, may have another escutcheon that we can use just to make this old girl look quite nice. But yeah, at the moment, there's nothing at the moment bar printing something up, and I don't have the facilities to 3D print at the moment. So yeah, okay, let's fit the speaker. Okay, I've got some washers, so we'll see how this is going to go. Now, when I put this in, we need the speaker terminals, or the speaker wiring. It's to this side, so that goes on like so. So we need the speaker around that way. Don't know whether this is going to go, but I think this might actually work to hold this speaker in, and I think there's enough room underneath the cover not to foul anything. We'll soon see. Anyway, this is sort of what I've got in mind, and once these are done up fairly tight, that speaker won't move. Now, just gonna get him. This is a bit of a trick. Come on. I'd rather do this than drill more holes in the top, actually. Okay, he certainly holds him. Let's line him up a bit. Now before we go too far, let's see, is he going to hit anything? No, top fits nicely. And we've got nice new screws, so he looks quite nice. And that speaker is never going to move. Bit of an overkill having big washers and everything else. I could have just used a little plate or something, but these were handy. It'll do the job. It fits. Now there's a little piece along here, a little bit of baffle there that's open at the front there. I will put a little bit of tape along there just to seal that off, just so that the speaker is fully enclosed over the speaker vents. Okay, so I've used some good old gaffer, and I've used a bigger piece that will stick on there forever. Around the edges of it, I've just along each side, I've put a little strip of super glue as well to hold it so that it never falls down. So let's solder our lead on. I'd say we're up for putting some of the front panel on. So this one, you probably saw earlier in the video. I better get my microphone on. Will make me sound a little bit better. Okay, we put some black cardboard and glued him onto this one. And there we are there. He goes on first, and then this fella goes on over the top, like so. And that runs quite well. Now, once we do something with this, we'll then cover up what's happening behind the scenes here. Washers, some nuts, apart from the one that's in the room here. We'll just do these finger tight at the moment. We don't know what's going to happen with this. Hopefully someone out there just might see this and might say, gee, I've got something that'll help Baz out on that one. Okay, so that's about as far as we can go. So what I've got is, where are we, is this one. Now I have glued the side of the dial itself. It's in reasonable order. It does stand out okay, and certainly looks the part once he goes in there. Problem here, this thing. I'm thinking maybe someone can 3D print this. Maybe someone out there has got a Cruizer 6 escutcheon. Looks like so. And our dial just glues in on the inside of him, like so, and then goes on like that. Give you a little bit better look at the front. That's a little bit better. I've just closed the door to stop the sunlight shining on him. So he goes on like so, and there's the front of him. Looks quite respectable. Okay, so if any of you guys can help me out on this one, it would be so much appreciated. We'll put some knobs on, and we're just about to call this one quits. But first of all, let's hook him up and let's hear him play. Okay, we've got our voltage set pretty close to 6.006. I reckon that's close enough. And the supply we're using, if I can get a screenshot for you, probably not, is that big fella just in there. He's a McVan power supply. Very nice piece of gear. Let's get a lead on this and hopefully hear some music, if there's any music on. Okay, so we have 6 volts. Negative earth, this one. Let's put him on here. Turn him on. I can hear a little vibrator in there going. And here she comes. Okay, now first thing I've got to do in here is turn this damn LED light off, which interferes no end with everything in this workshop. Let's put an aerial on a very temporary one. And we certainly have a go there. Very difficult in here to pick anything up.
Course of action. It has the power to charge people for animal cruelty offences.
That report from Angus Randall and Leah McLennan.
Our tone is working nicely there. So, yeah, we better not stay on any tunes for too long. Be good to hear the locomotion, but...
Dan, first off, can you describe the scene at the beach for us?
It's a hive of activity, Sam.
And
I think
we
would
have...
be the best way of putting it. There are a lot of people here. Many more have come in first light, volunteers, about 40 of them, I believe.
Okay. There we go, guys. All working, which is, a fairly big project, this one. It's a lot of years since I've done one of these fellas. He doesn't look much, but boy, this thing, it performs very well. All right, well, we'll call it quits. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've really enjoyed the part rebuild, part restoration, part repair, whatever you want to call it, but it is only a repair. But the actual process of everything we've had to do, I've loved it. I hope you have too. If you've liked it, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you want to follow me on all sorts of funny looking things like this. And until the next video, from me, it's bye for now.